Hey everyone, it's Aero Dragon, and it's time for my very first Q&A. I'm going to be looking at the questions from my Q&A announcement video, and keep in mind this is going to be unscripted, so forgive me if I stutter a bit here and there. But anyway, let's look at these questions. Alright, let's see. Here's a good one. First one comes from Zephyr Revolution. We all know your favorite generation of Pokemon, so what is your second favorite? Well, my favorite generation is Gen 6, I don't know if you saw it coming, mostly because of the Gen 3 remakes. But as for my second favorite, that's easily Gen 5. Like, the new Pokemon introduced, the refinements to the battle system, just the feel of the game in general is fantastic. And before you say I think each generation is better than the last, I like Gen 3 more than Gen 4. Moving on. Next question. Soul, which is Soul King R. What's the worst video you made and why? Honestly, that's a bit of a toss-up between my first countdown, top 10 Wii games, and my fourth countdown, top 10 My Sims characters. With the first one, it's my first video, I barely knew what I was doing, so obviously it's gonna have problems. But with top 10 My Sims characters, I don't know what I was thinking when I made that. Like, I barely went into any evaluation on the characters, I mostly just said what they did in each game, and my god, the footage hunting on that game was dreadful. So the end product is something I'm not proud of. I can't believe I did that. Alright, next question from JJ Slider. What is your favorite Zelda game? Easy. Wind Waker HD. I went over this a bit in my top 20 games I played in 2014, but Wind Waker just encompasses everything I love about a Zelda game. Memorable characters, memorable set pieces, huge sense of exploration, awesome music, and some really good dungeon design. It's just one or two of the dungeons rubbed me the wrong way, namely the first visit to Forsaken Fortress, and I think for a minute, actually I think that's the only one that really bugs me. Huh. Okay. Next question from Douglas Stewart. What's your favorite base class in the Fire Emblem universe? I thought about this for a while. My favorite base class would have to be the Mercenary. Like, if I was going to be a unit in a Fire Emblem game, I would be by default the Mercenary class. They have solid speed, good offense, and they can become one of my favorite classes in the game, let me start over. They become one of my favorite classes in the game, the Hero. Like, I love heroes. They get Soul, which can restore their health, wield swords and axes, which are both useful weapons, and it's a really solid class. And if that's not your style, you can always go Bow Knight, and that is just as good. Okay, let's see, what else is there? Okay, here's a good one. From Phantom N. Hey buddy, how you doing? Who are your favorite Danganronpa characters? I have discussed this with him and a bunch of my friends before, but I have not discussed it on my channel. First off, I really want to thank Ann for getting me into the Danganronpa series. Like, it's a ton of fun, and I really recommend you give it a shot if you haven't already, but not if you're the squeamish type, because there is a lot of blood and murder, obviously. But anyway, from the first game, some of my favorites were Kyoto, Aoi, and let me think for a minute. And what was his name? Big hair. Yasuhiro, I think his name was. Yeah, the fortune teller. Those were all great characters, but the second game gave me even more characters to love. Namely, Hina, I think her name was. It was the athlete. Let's see, who else? There were a couple more. Shiaki was another great one, and oh yeah, Ibuki. How could I forget about Ibuki? Ibuki was awesome. Like, I love music myself, so it was pretty easy for me to love her. Yeah. Okay. Next question from Jack Stevenson. Which one? Those are pretty good ones. I think I'll go with what inspired you to make YouTube videos in the first place. Well, mostly just watching countdowns from Quarter Guy, Fawful's Minion, CJ, and it put me full of ideas. Like, I thought of scenarios where I would make my own countdowns, and some of those ideas actually have come to fruition, like with my earlier videos, my top 15 favorite boss fights, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm basically a bandwagon hopper like Yuji. Okay. Yeah, Renegade Master actually asked 2 questions that I really like, so yeah, that's kind of surprising. His first question. Favorite and least favorite Mega Man / Mega Man X game? Aside from Mega Man X7, that would be too easy. Okay, so for favorite classic Mega Man game, it's Mega Man 9. I love the Robot Masters, the level design, the weapons, the soundtrack, it's all glorious. As for my least favorite, I know I'm gonna upset a lot of people, but it's Mega Man 2. Like, I don't think Mega Man 2 has aged well at all. It just feels stiff. I don't like the Robot Masters as much as others do. The weapons leave a lot to be desired, And do I even need to bring up the Boobean Trap? Ugh. As for Mega Man X, my favorite easily is Mega Man X3. I did an entire Let's Play of the game, so you know that. And for my least favorite, if it's not X7, it's gonna be X6. Like, X6, I enjoyed it as a guilty pleasure to some extent, but it is such a flawed game. Like, seriously, the level design is just garbage. I do like the soundtrack and a good amount of the weapons, but the level design occasionally just makes me want to pull my hair out. Though X2 occasionally dips to that low at points. You know what I mean? And if I could remake one of my older countdowns, which one would it be? That would be my first countdown, top 10 Wii games. I have had that on the back burner for a while to remake it and extend it into a top 15. But I don't know when I'm gonna get around to that. It could be a while. Okay, let's see. Okay, from Renegade Phoenix, another Renegade. Aside from Zale, who's your favorite character from the last story? That is a tough one, actually. Like, I love a ton of characters in the last story. General Astar, Dagrin, Sarin. But if I had to pick one, I'd honestly go with Yurik. Yurik has a really interesting backstory, and he's the quiet collective type, which is a bit like me. And plus, I find him one of the most useful allies in combat because he has one of the best spirit abilities, which just does massive damage. So yeah, I have to say Yurik. Okay, I think I can answer a couple more. Okay, from Forest Bud. Who's your favorite Gen 7 Pokemon and a Alolan form as of today? Let's see. For my favorite Gen 7 Pokemon as of now, which is October 1st, I'd have to say Salandit. Like, I am very curious about it. It's going to be one of the Pokemon I hope to raise on my first playthrough. Like, its ability to poison anything. I can see that having serious use in competitive battles. And for a Alolan form, oddly, it's a Alolan Ninetales. It's weird. That typing is a complete Dragon Slayer, yet I'm really curious about it. So, yeah. Salandit and Alolan Ninetales. Can't wait to see what comes out of them. Okay, I think there was one more I wanted to answer here. No, I guess that's all the questions that were really interesting to me. Actually, wait, no, wait. Actually, wait, I was wrong. One more, from Dark Aura Productions. What do you like better, Awakening or Fates? Originally, after I played Birthright and Conquest, I would say Awakening, because I felt it was more tightly packed, it was a lot more refined. But then I played Fire Emblem Fates Revelation, and oh man, Revelation changed everything. Just the way the story is presented, how the characters are presented, the fact you can get all the units from both sides of the Alliance, and the amount of freedom you have with reclassing, it gives you so much freedom, so much replayability that I'm still trying out new stuff on new playthroughs. Like, I've already played through the game 3 times and only had the game about 6 months. That should say something. Also, Fates had the... Actually, excuse me. Also, Revelation had the perfect balance when it came to difficulty. It was never too hard or too easy, and I love it for that. And plus, it had an amazing final battle, but I won't spoil it. Alright then, that'll do it for this Q&A. If you want me to do more Q&As in the future, let me know, and if you do, send me some questions. Until next time, this is Aerodragon, signing out.